Have you ever wondered what knowledge was once forbidden? Secrets so powerful that the church tried to bury them, burn them, and erase them from memory? Tonight we step beyond the veil of time. We travel to an era when magic and faith collided, when scholars and sorcerers shared the same breath. Welcome to the world of Disquisitionum Magicarum, the investigations into magic. I am Dario, your guide through the shadows, and this is Witchcraft 999. Stay until the end, because what I'm about to reveal cannot be found in any modern grimoire. The forbidden architecture of Western magic itself. Written in the late 1500s by Martin Del Rio, a Jesuit priest and inquisitor, this book stands as one of the most detailed and controversial works ever created about witchcraft and sorcery. But make no mistake, this was no simple theological critique. Hidden within its Latin pages lies the anatomy of magic, its origins, its forces, and its methods. Del Rio set out to expose heresy, but in doing so he preserved the language of power. Imagine an age when whispering a single word could condemn you. An era when candlelight flickered over parchment soaked with fear and obsession. Every line written by Del Rio was a thread between two worlds, reason and the arcane. He gathered testimonies from accused witches, confessions drawn from sleepless nights, and fragments of forbidden grimoires that had survived the fires. He dissected rituals, he mapped the names of spirits, he chronicled incantations spoken in tongues now long forgotten. What makes Disquisitionum Magicarum truly unique is that it stands between two realities, the religious and the magical. Del Rio did not simply condemn witchcraft, he sought to understand it. He examined its structure, its rules, its hierarchy. He described how the pact with spirits was formed, how magic interacted with the elements, and how symbols acted as keys to invisible realms. To him, magic was not chaos. It was a coded language of the divine, or the infernal. Let's go deeper. In one of the earliest volumes, Del Rio describes 5 essential principles behind all magical acts. The alignment of intention, the invocation of a name, the manipulation of natural correspondences, the offering or sacrifice, and finally, the sealing of will. These steps are the blueprint of nearly every occult ritual known today, from the Goetia to Hermeticism. Yet Del Rio documented them centuries before such systems were formalized. There's a chilling passage where he recounts the story of a Spanish noblewoman accused of summoning a storm to destroy a fleet. When interrogated, she described drawing sigils in sand while chanting in a dead language. Del Rio translated part of it and recognized echoes of Sumerian invocation. That revelation haunted him. He began to suspect that magic, in its oldest form, predated Christianity, that it was a universal current woven into humanity itself. Throughout the Disquisitionum, Del Rio maps the universe as a layered hierarchy. Heaven above, hell below, and between them, the liminal space of spirits. This middle realm, he writes, is where human will meets the unseen. He describes how certain sounds, specific vibrations of the voice, can create a bridge between planes. Words, he believed, were not just communication. They were instruments of creation, and the magician, by mastering them, could imitate the divine act of Genesis. This is why his book is both terrifying and sacred, because within its pages lies the architecture of reality, explained in the only language that dared to name it, magic. He also delves into the phenomenon of possession, obsession, and the materialization of spirits. To Del Rio, these were not metaphors. He considered them evidence of interaction between dimensions, one physical, one energetic. He spoke of visible shadows, entities that feed on fear and faith alike. Modern researchers might call them thought forms, egregores, or energetic parasites, but Del Rio described them centuries earlier. What's astonishing is how he saw magic as science before science existed. He connected planetary alignments to emotional states. He believed the moon's phase altered not just tides, but human consciousness. He suggested metals and herbs held spiritual frequencies, an idea now echoed in modern energy work and alchemy. To him, the world was a symphony of vibration, and magic was the art of tuning to the right frequency. And then the book takes a darker turn. Del Rio's accounts of pacts and invocations are not distant theories. They are testimonies from real people, men and women who swore they spoke to entities, made bargains, and witnessed manifestations. He records the name Baal, the first king of hell, long before it became popularized in the Getia. He describes Astaroth, Asmodeus, and Belial with precision that suggests he had access to sources we no longer possess. One particular story describes a ritual conducted in a monastery where a group of scholars attempted to summon the spirit of knowledge. What appeared was not angelic. Del Rio wrote of a light without warmth and a voice without mercy. The next morning, the walls of the cell were scorched with unfamiliar symbols. No one could decipher them. He called this the echo of the fallen wisdom. The more you study Disquisitionum Magicarum, the clearer it becomes. This was not merely an inquisitor's warning, it was a manual, a codex of spiritual physics. It explained how thought could shape matter, how prayer could alter reality, how symbols could trap or liberate entities. It described the invisible mechanics of miracles and curses alike. Del Rio's work influenced centuries of thinkers, from grimoires like the Clavicula Salomonis to the Malleus Maleficarum. But unlike others, his approach carried the subtle understanding that magic was not evil, only misused power. He believed that within divine law, magic was possible, that miracles and spells were siblings, separated only by intention. Many passages in the book are encrypted, written in ciphers and symbolic Latin to obscure deeper truths. Modern occultists who have tried to decode them found descriptions of planetary gates, sigils for communication, and even references to the machine of the heavens, a proto-concept of the Hermetic macrocosm. It is said that if one reads Disquisitionum Magicarum in the right order, not linearly but cyclically, a hidden pattern emerges, forming what some call the angelic diagram of manifestation. Even today, surviving copies of the book are guarded by private collectors, monasteries, and secret societies. Only a handful of modern translations exist, and most are incomplete. Entire sections are missing or blacked out, believed too dangerous to publish. Yet the whispers persist that those who fully read the original text experience strange phenomena, lucid dreams, synchronicities, and an inexplicable pull toward ancient symbols. Whether coincidence or consequence, no one can say. But the power of this book is undeniable. So what did Martin Del Rio truly uncover? Was he a scholar of heresy or a keeper of the old flame? Perhaps both. Because in the end, to study magic is to walk the edge between faith and forbidden light. Del Rio's words remind us that truth is not always pure, and power is never free. And now, as we close this chapter of Disquisitionum Magicarum, one question remains. If such knowledge existed, how much of it still survives, hidden behind symbols, waiting for those who dare to seek it? This is Witchcraft999, where we don't just study magic, we live it. If you've made it this far, you are part of the circle now. Remember, the real power lies not in words, but in understanding, and understanding begins in the dark. Stay curious, stay brave, and until next time, keep your flame alive.